Vechain value equivalent to 0.4974 rands a coin. The present cost range is 0.4678 to 0.5019. The earlier day close is 0.4864. The change was plus 0.110 plus 2, 26%. Backwards rate, ZAR to VET. Vechain cost expectation for November 2024. At the outset cost at 0.2490 rands. Excessive costs are 0.2490, while low costs are 0.2021. The arrived at the midpoint of costs of 0.2294. Vechain cost conjecture toward the month's ends at 0.2173. Change for November 12.7%. Vechain figure for December 2024. Initially cost at 0.2173 rands. Excessive costs are 0.2173, while low costs are 0.1860. The arrived at the midpoint of costs of 0.2052. Vechain cost figure toward the month's ends of 0.2000. Change for December 8.0%. Vechain cost expectation for January 2025. Initially cost at 0.2000 rands. Excessive costs at 0.2482, while low costs at 0.2000. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are 0.2201. Vechain cost conjecture toward the month's ends at 0.2320. Change for January 16%. Vechain conjecture for February 2025. Before all else cost at 0.2320 rands. Excessive costs are 0.2522, while low costs are 0.2192. The arrived at the midpoint of costs 0.2348. Vechain cost conjecture toward the month's ends are 0.2357. Change for February 1st. 6%. Vechain cost expectation for WARC 2025. Before all else cost at 0.2357 rands. Excessive costs 0.2925, while low costs are 0.2357. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are 0.2593. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's ends are 0.2734. Change for spring 16.0%. Vechain gauge for April 2025. In the first place cost at 0.2734 rands. Exorbitant cost 0.3333, while low cost 0.2734. The found the middle value of costs are 0.2979. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's ends are 0.3115. Change for April 13th. 9%. Vechain cost expectation for May 2025. At the outset cost at 0.3115 rands. Excessive costs are 0.3561, while low costs are 0.3095. The found the middle value of costs are 0.3275. Vechain cost estimate toward the month's ends are 0.3328. Change for May 6th. 8%. Vechain figure for June 2025. Before all else cost at 0.3328 rands. Excessive costs are 0.3942, while low costs are 0.3328. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are 0.3571. Vechain cost figure toward the month's ends are 0.3684. Change for June 10th. 7%. Vechain cost expectation for July 2025. At the outset cost at 0.3684 rands. Excessive costs are 0.3684, while low costs are 0.3073. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are 0.3436. Vechain cost conjecture toward the month's ends are 0.3304. Change for July 10.3%. Vechain conjecture for August 2025. At the outset cost at 0.3304 rands. Excessive costs are 0.3304, while low costs are 0.2759. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are 0.3084. Vechain cost estimate toward the month's ends are 0.2967. Change for August 10.2%. Vechain cost expectation for September 2025. First and foremost cost at 0.2967 rands. Exorbitant cost 0.2967, while low cost 0.2543. The found the middle value of costs are 0.2803. Vechain cost estimate toward the month's ends are 0.2734. Change for September 7.9%. Vechain estimate for October 2025. First and foremost cost at 0.2734 rands. Excessive cost 0.2895, while low cost 0.2517. The arrived at the midpoint of costs are 0.2713. Vechain cost figure toward the month's end 0.2706. Change for October 1.0%. Vechain cost expectation for November 2025. Initially cost at 0.2706 rands. Excessive cost 0.2812, while low cost 0.2444. The arrived at the midpoint of cost 0.2648. Vechain cost figure toward the month's end 0.2628. Change for November 2.9%. Vechain figure for December 2025. Initially cost at 0.2628 rands. Excessive cost 0.2855, while low cost 0.2481. The arrived at the midpoint of costs 0.2658. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's end 0.2668. Change for December 1st. 5%. Vechain cost expectation for January 2026. To start with cost at 0.2668 rands. Exorbitant cost 0.3312, while low cost 0.2668. They found the middle value of costs 0.2936. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's end 0.3095. Change for January 16th. It's a percent. Vechain gauge for February 2026. To start with cost at 0.3095 rands. Exorbitant cost 0.3841, while low cost 0.3095. They found the middle value of costs 0.3405. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's ends at 0.3590. Change for February 16th. A percent. Vechain cost expectation for Walk 2026. In the first place, cost at 0.359 rands. Exorbitant cost 0.3902, while low cost 0.3392. They found the middle value of cost 0.3633. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's ends at 0.3647. Change for spring 1.6%. Vechain gauge for April 2026. To start with cost at 0.3647 rands. Exorbitant cost 0.3964, while low cost 0.3446. They found the middle value of cost 0.3691. Vechain cost gauge toward the month's end 0.3705. Change for April 1st. 6%. Vechain cost expectation for May 2026. Before all else cost at 0.3705 rands. Excessive cost 0.4159, while low cost 0.3615. They arrived at the midpoint of cost 0.3842. Vechain cost conjecture toward the month's end 0.3887. Change for May 4th. 9%. Vechain gauge for June 2026. In the first place, cost at 0.3887 rands. Exorbitant costs 0.4207, while low cost 0.3657. They arrived at the midpoint of costs 0.3921. Vechain cost conjecture